Welcome to the Gore N More podcast with your hosts TJ Bowser, Chad Chrisman, and Big Johnny D. We have such sights to tell you.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gore N More podcast. This is your host with the most, TJ Bowser, and joining me, as always, is your Dark Lord and Savior, Chad Chrisman.
What's up, bitches?
And Big Johnny D.
What's going on, everybody?
And also, Jason Voorhees himself, Jason Brooks.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Thanks for coming on, Jason. It's a pleasure having such a good friend on and such an awesome actor.
No, thank you very much for having me.
So, today is June 17th, and we are going to review The Fly. But before that, Chad, how was your week?
It was all right, thanks. How was, had a nice little weekend where we went up to the in-laws. We were supposed to have a nice little get-together with some of her family, but her cousin's kid got sick, so it was just me and the in-laws, and there was like a ton of food that we have all left over. We had some nice smoked ribs, pork roast. Oh, God, I've got so much leftovers. I'm going to be eating it all week. And then Father's Day. Father's Day was I love it. And yesterday was Father's Day. I didn't really do much of anything. We had to have the damn repair guy show up for DirecTV. They had to replace the line going into our house. We all lost all our signal, but that's cool. I mean, we had the protection plan, so that was covered. And then I sat there and played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a kick-ass game. I love it. And that was pretty much all I did. Aside from that, I worked. What about you, Big John?
Well, I had a pretty fast week, just nonstop working between the both houses. But I did get a little relaxed time to sit down and check out the new Radical Summer update on Rocket League, which, if anybody has it, is pretty sweet. And yes, well, most know that I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan.
I knew
finally get the fucking Ecto. Thank fucking God.
As soon as you mentioned that, as soon as you mentioned Rocket League,
I know. I knew it was going to come. I knew it. I expected that. But honestly, I think the best part is the fact that every time you log in, you get to fucking rock out to Kenny Loggins every time. So, that's a sweet little fucking update right there.
Thanks. Now I'm going to have to get that game now because of that.
And it's, what is it? It's Party with the Boys, too, I believe is the song. So, it's like perfect. But, no, man, it's been a good, fast week.
Wait, please tell me that's not the same song that played during the volleyball scene in Top Gun.
Was it?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Was that Danger
Maybe?
Zone?
No, Danger Zone was the one they played.
No, Danger Zone was when they were doing the montage,
the
flying montage and shit.
I'm thinking that's the same one from that scene, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Top Gun, though.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been probably a good 15 years for me. I'd have to definitely sit down and watch it. But no, man, it's been a good, fast week, man. But other than that, Mr. Brooks, how have you been, man?
I've been good. I've been working a lot and did a lot more Kickstarter packing and shipping, and then celebrated a couple of birthdays with some friends. And then I guess Father's Day yesterday was real fun with my kids. I took them out axe throwing.
And, I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that. I'm sitting there watching them like, there is no way. If I threw double axes like that, there's almost 100% guaranteed they would collide in midair and I'd look like a doofus.
Yeah, you got to work your way up to double axe throwing.
That was impressive. That was very impressive.
Thank you.
TJ, how was your week, bud?
Good. It's Friday. I did my first podcast of Rabbit Hole with Mick Strawn, and it turned out pretty good. For those of you who have listened to it, I think it was a pretty good first episode. Saturday, I recorded Jerk the Curtain with Corey Kaufman, and just kind of been working ever since. Father's Day, I had to work all day, but I did get to come home to Taryn, so that was cool.
That's always good.
Yes. And yeah, that's all. But
nice.
Before we get into the review of 1986's The Fly, a message from our sponsors. Gore N More is brought to you in part by A New Kind of Fear Customs. Friday the 13th inspired custom gaming controllers, hockey masks, action figures, and more. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and at anewkindofear.com. Do you like photography and Friday the 13th? Then check out 13 Gallows Lane. You can find them on Facebook at Gallo Goes to Hell, Twitter and Instagram at 13 Gallows Lane, and on Patreon at Emily Helene. Warning, some content not safe for work. Do you like horror movies, collecting, and enamel pins? Then check out Creative Terror Pins. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram and at creativeterrorpins.com. And we are back with a review of 1986's The Fly, directed by David Cronenberg,
written by Charles Edward Pogue and David Cronenberg, produced by Stuart Cornfield, starring the one and only Jeff Goldblum as Seth Brundle. How do you say this one? Gina?
Yeah, Gina
Davis as Veronica.
Yep.
Or Ronnie. How do you see the hell that last name?
Is it Quaif?
Quaif?
I don't really.
We'll call her Queef. John Getz as... John Getz as Stathis Borens. I murdered that. Joy Bushel as Tawny. Leslie Carlson as Dr. Brent Cheevers. George Chavallo as Marky. And David Cronenberg as the gynecologist. Music by Howard Shore. Cinematography by Mark Irwin. Edited by Ronald Sanders. Distributed by 20th Century Fox. Released August 15th, 1986. Runtime of 96 minutes. A budget of 15 mil. And it grossed just over 60 million. It's time for the trailer of The Fly. Oh, I really hope this has some Goldblum.
I think you're jerking the curtain too much.
I am jerking the curtain too much.
I think you're making a mistake. I think you really want to talk to me.
Sorry, I have 3 other interviews to do before this party's over.
Yeah, but they're not working on something that'll change the world as we know it.
They say they are.
Yeah, but they're lying.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
Those weird hairs that were growing out of your back, I had them analyzed. But they were definitely not human.
If you saw how scared and angry and desperate he is.
I'm sure Typhoid Mary was a very nice person, too, when you saw her socially.
No!
You're afraid to be destroyed and recreated, aren't you?
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
Oh, no. What's happening to me? Am I dying? I want to know what's going on.
What does the disease want?
It wants to turn me into something else. Oh, no. A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone. Don't go back to it. It could be contagious.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Help me. Please, help me.
Dranscock, give us that plot rundown.
Okay. Let's see. So, you didn't actually send it to me, did you? I'll just read from this.
Wait, do you not have the show notes, Dranscock?
You never send them to me, dude.
I don't have his address. I never sent.
Oh,
That's why I always forwarded it to you. I don't have his.
What's your email address, John?
jdran85@gmail.com.
Is it the Ghostbusters?
And now I'm gonna get tons of fucking email.
No, we'll edit this out of the show. Don't worry.
No, I'm gonna keep it in the show. Is that your Ghostbusters one?
No, that's not. That's just my normal one. I don't have a Ghostbusters.
Oh, well, what the hell's JDC? Ghosty. Ghostbuster.
JDRAN. JDRAN85.
Oh, I have it already.
I was say you should have it.
Oh, you got it sent to you. Okay, Chad, just read it.
Okay, Seth Brundle, played by Jeff Goldblum, is a research scientist employed by Bartok Sciences who has invented telepods, 2 matter transmission pods that teleport any object through space from one telepod to the other telepod. But it isn't till Seth meets journalist Veronica Queef, who inspired Seth to who inspires Seth to correct the system, that Seth achieves successful teleportation. But something goes horribly wrong when Seth uses himself as a guinea pig in a matter transmission experiment, as he teleports himself, unaware his genes have been fused with a housefly that was trapped in a telepod with him. Seth now finds himself slowly transforming into a terrifying mutant creature known as Brundlefly, as he finds himself in a fierce battle as his mutated genes begin to take over.
Sounds like a Ninja Turtles villain.
There was one.
Yes.
Baxter Stockman, yeah.
Yes. So, what do you guys think of the movie?
Well, I personally loved it. Obviously, it was my choice, but I want to know what you guys think of the movie.
Why don't we let Mr. Brooks begin? He's the guest. He should get to talk first.
Oh yeah, sure. I think it's phenomenal. I mean, I haven't seen it in since the 80s when it came out, and so for this, I kind of rewatched it and forgot about how amazing the special effects were, like the makeup and everything.
Yes.
I'm a very visual guy, and just the visual horror of the whole thing and the transformation is just awesome. So I love it.
Awesome. Dranscock, you love it. So what about Chad?
I freaking absolutely love this movie. I always have, ever since I was a kid. And I can remember the very first time I saw it. I think my sister was at a dance.
Okay.
And my mom was working, so it was just me and my dad, and he rented this. And I remember we watched this and Night of the Living Dead the same night. That was my first time seeing them both. And I loved both of them ever since. This movie is just so fantastic. It's got a minimal cast, but they do so much with it, and it really just makes you care about the characters. I think because of that, because there's so few people that are kind of ancillary characters, you got and it's a really tragic story. I love it. It's always been one of my favorites, and like Jason Brooks said, the makeup is fantastic, and it actually won an Oscar. This is our first Oscar-winning movie, I believe.
The Burning didn't win any Oscars.
Best Picture.
I love the film. I think it's very, very good. Goldblum, excellent actor. That girl from Beetlejuice, she's okay.
Gina Davis.
The girl from Beetlejuice.
What else is she in?
That's fair.
She was in a couple movies before.
Wasn't she in she was in one where she was a witch. What the hell was that? Was it? No, that was Share. I don't know. There's a couple other ones, but you're right, dude. She's the chick from Beetlejuice. Yeah. Like, that's fine. You could put Beetlejuice and The Fly. We'll at least add those two on.
Those are probably her two biggest ones. Yeah. He's looking up now.
If you don't mind, I'll at least throw in how I do fully feel about the movie.
She was in the Stuart Little movies. There we go. There's some notoriety.
What was that?
She's in the Stuart Little movies. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Yep. But no, man, I mean, like you guys said, like this movie, this is mid 80s. The effects were just amazing. This is actually one of the movies, and I hope I'm not stealing this from like Chad's notes, but I'm pretty sure when the movie ends, the director, not the cast, the first person on the credits is actually the effects guy.
Yep.
Which is fucking awesome.
Yep, that's in my notes. I'll get to that.
Way to go! You blew it.
No. No.
No, I mean that's just one of my right. I know we're jumping all over again. God damn it! Fuck me. Anyways, no, but like, dude, that's one of the reasons why I personally love the movie. I mean, dude, I've always been trying to get into make my own effects. I got a buddy, Ryan Major. We've done haunted houses for fucking years, man, and we just get crazier and crazier with it. And so, just from that aspect of it, like. I loved it. It was a great story. It was a sad story.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, with a minimal cast, it was done great. Like, you know what I mean? Like good set locations, everything, like, hands down.
Okay, yeah. I this film looked amazing. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's my favorite cinematography in a movie, but I'll tell you what, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's a Cronenberg film. How can you hate it? The man's a genius.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Johnny. In one of these times we review a movie, can you talk like Jeff from Fast Times at Ridgemont High the entire time?
I would have to actually watch it, dude. I haven't watched that since I've been a fucking kid.
I was thinking about that today when you were talking. Some of the stuff you say, I was like, this would be really funny if you did that.
Probably talk like, what the fuck from Night of the Demon there. What's up, dude? Some dude asses.
What is his name?
Oh yeah, what was his name again?
Wasn't it?
Stooge.
Fucking Stooge. I should cosplay him down at fucking Steel City, man. Fucking
Do it.
Underwear and all, dude. Just
Fuck
get the
Freddy
fucking
versus
mullet.
Jason. Just Stooge.
No, I put way too much work into that one too. I do both.
Do both. So Chad, where do we go from here? Behind the scenes?
Sit down notes.
I got a lot.
Okay.
Like I've got like 4 pages of notes,
Jesus.
which is very unusual for me. I usually do like 1 or 2 pages, and there's just so much stuff on this movie to go through. A lot of cool stuff.
Well, let us have it.
Okay.
Well, this is probably the biggest movie we've done so far, right?
Oh yeah, this may be the biggest movie we're gonna do for
besides The Crow.
Yeah, and I don't want to reveal too much. I know we have some big ones coming up that we don't want to talk about yet. There's one that's possibly bigger than this. You guys probably know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
That's even more famous than this. Okay, so just a little thing that I noticed was that the composer Howard Shore went on to do the scores for all of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. So he's won.
Oh, he made the score for the movies about walking.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
But he won Oscars for those, so he wanted to do even better things than this.
Yeah.
And it started the famous line, "Be afraid, be very afraid."
Oh, okay.
Which has been used over and over and over again. Which, from what and I don't have this written down, but that was actually thought up by Mel Brooks.
Of course.
Which, of course, I have notes about Mel Brooks being one of the producers. Martin Scorsese once told that David Cronenberg told him that he looked like a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon. And so that's what kind of half convinced him to do the gynecologist cameo. And Gina Davis kind of talked him into it,
What are
too.
other Cronenberg notable films?
There's Videodrome. There's... what's the one about the twins? Is it Dead Ringers? No.
Shit. No.
You keep talking and I'll look this shit up.
He played Dr. Decker in Nightbreed.
Oh, that's all you need to say. He's won me over.
He was the doctor at the beginning of Jason X.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't he the senator? He was a senator.
He was a senator.
Senator?
I thought he was a senator. He wasn't a doctor.
Oh, no. He was like the head psychiatrist.
Oh, I was gonna say there's that dude who got who got the spear in his chest in Jason X. I thought that was him. I thought
he wasn't like a senator. He was like the doctor, the head, whatever it was.
Speaking of Deckard and Nightbreed, I threw on Nightbreed this morning and it scared the shit out of Sarah when Deckard killed that family at the beginning.
Dude, that was such a good movie.
It's so brutal.
I just watched that a couple weeks ago.
I really wish that whoever was trying to make that ultimate cut didn't run into legal problems, and then we would have ended up with that 3.5 hour cut.
Yeah. Well, the cable
Holy
cut.
Shit.
The cable cut. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The Cabal cut. Yeah. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, there was a scene that was scripted that wasn't filmed. Actually, let me get to this. There's a very famous deleted scene where Brundle fuses their surviving baboon with a cat and makes this hideous monstrosity that's a fusion between the two, and he ends up putting it out of its misery and beating it to death with a lead pipe. They actually cut that.
Oh, that would have been fucking awesome.
It's on the deleted scenes. It's on the deleted scenes on a DVD. So you can see it. They cut it.
You
from
can
the
see
movie.
it on YouTube too.
Yeah, and they cut it from the movie because test audiences hated it. They cut it because they said once you basically beat an animal to death, whether it's a mutated monster or not, the audience loses sympathy with the main character, so they cut it out for that. And then I guess there was another scene that should have taken place right after that, where a homeless woman walks up on Seth Brundle as he's afterwards. He's like feeding out of a dumpster, and she screams, and he walks over and melts her face off with this acid, and then eats her.
Oh,
which would have been a really cool scene, but they didn't even film it. So going back to what Dranscock said, the first name mentioned in the credits is Chris Wallace as the creator and designer of The Fly. After the first test audience saw it, they cheered seeing his name. After that, producer Stuart Kornfeld looked at him and said, "You're getting the Oscar." And of course he did. So that was very, very, very clever putting his name first. It got a lot of fame for that. Mel Brooks didn't want people to know that he was a producer on the film because he was afraid that people wouldn't think wouldn't take the film seriously. Mel Brooks, Spaceballs,
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. So he didn't promote it as much that he was a producer, but once people found out, he like totally dove into it and handed out like the little dealy bobbers at the movie's premiere. Those little
fuck is
antennas.
a dealy bobber?
Those little things you wear on your head that has like little antennas and shit.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. After that, he embraced it, and it was all cool. I didn't even know Mel Brooks was a producer for this until recently. Like I knew going into this, but before that, I didn't know. Said Cronenberg was actually personally terrified of the baboons. He said they're very intelligent, but they're still wild animals. He didn't really like them. And actually, it was Jeff Goldblum that kind of kept them in check. They because of his tall, muscular stature. I mean, he worked out going into the movie, and they kind of identified with him as the alpha. So he kind of kept them a little bit more docile.
Fucking right,
they were
he's
more
an alpha. Yeah. Alpha of us all.
Fuck right, it's Goldblum. He just gave him that fucking crazy eye look he gave Gina Davis in the first 2 minutes, dude. And she was, fucking worked on her.
Okay, so better shirtless scene for Goldblum, this or Jurassic Park?
Oh, that's hard.
Wait. Well, dude, he's like shirtless in this whole fucking movie, though, honestly.
He is. But he definitely, I would go for this one because he had the six pack and everything.
The Jurassic Park is definitely a more of a surprise sensual shot. You're like, oh, Jeff Goldblum. How you
got that whole bearskin rug thing going on in Jurassic Park?
I love that GIF that I shared the other day where it's him laying there shirtless and he's breathing and what's his name is leaning on him like he was leaning on the triceratops.
Love it.
I laughed so hard when I saw that. Michael Keaton was offered the role of Seth Brundle, but he declined it.
You blew it. Continue.
Come on, man. He was Batman after that. I think he went. He
was Beetlejuice 2 years after this.
Beetlejuice was 88.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice was Was it 88?
88.
Yeah, and Batman was
87, and Batman was 89. Okay, no.
And now he's Vulture, right?
Which was another fantastic performance.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Did Val Kilmer have a stroke? Speaking of Batmans.
Did he have a stroke? Why?
I thought I saw something about Val Kilmer having a stroke the other day.
Like recently?
I don't know.
I have no idea, but after hearing the Adam Marcus interview, I could care less about Val Kilmer. Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Be like, you know what? My eyes have kind of been open to that.
Right?
Holy shit.
I've read a lot of things.
Thank you, Mr. Marcus, for that.
That was a great interview. I love that. So, the inspiration for the design of the telepods actually came from the shape of the cylinder on Cronenberg's Ducati motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was kind of cool. He actually originally turned down the film due to scheduling conflicts with Total Recall. He was originally supposed to film Total Recall with producer Dino De Laurentiis. Apparently, those two had a complete falling out, couldn't come to terms. They had over creative differences. So when he dropped out of that, he decided he could do The Fly. Meanwhile, when he was supposed to be doing Total Recall, they signed director Robert Bierman to do The Fly. But he had to pull out because of the death of his daughter, which is an unfortunate tragedy. And actually, to this day, he still hasn't seen The Fly because it reminds him too much of...
Like that time.
Yeah, it brings up bad memories for him. He didn't want it to compromise his vision for the film, so he just completely ignores it to this day. Poor guy. They actually made this into an opera. It's a 2-act opera based on the movie. It was made in 2008. David Cronenberg actually directed the opera, and Howard Shore composed the music, and the lyrics were made by David Henry Hwang, who did the lyrics for M. Butterfly.
Hwang. I don't know if I'd want to watch this in opera setting or not. I'd be, it'd probably be if I was going to be dragged to the opera, that'd be like, well, if I was going to go see The Fly, that'd be the one, I guess.
And aren't operas generally known to be a bit of a tragedy anyway? So it kind of fits the theme of an opera anyway.
Although, sidebar on that, not saying I wouldn't, because I did go to New York to see Evil Dead the musical twice.
Nice.
And that was fucking awesome. But we'll digress from that.
I've listened to the soundtrack to the musical. I love that. It
was great.
It's a Beetlejuice musical.
Yeah, they just came up.
Dude, the second time, me, my buddy Brian, and Zach, we were all in the fucking splatter zone in the first 2 rows where they actually like hose you down with blood and shit. It's fucking great.
Did you wear all white?
Oh, you had to, man. And then my buddy, he actually bought a shirt because they sell white shirts where, obviously you could be up there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one of the stagehands who had a fucking 3-fingered hand. So he grabbed a bunch of blood off the stain and put it right in the middle of his fucking shirt. So there's just weird fucking like 3-fingered nub hand print on his. Yeah, it's just one of those things you'll never fucking forget, dude. You're just like,
when you said
memories there.
When you said he had a 3-fingered hand, I'm like, wait, did he really have one, or was that like a prosthetic? But it was a real thing.
It was a spark. Yeah, dude. I couldn't remember. He explained to us why he lost his fingers, but we were drinking and shit, so like we weren't really fucking paying attention because we were just like, holy fuck, dude, your hand looks fucked up.
Way to not pay attention, not to draw attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were handing out shots called fucking the Necronomicon, and they were fucking tasting good, so But anyways, back to
all
the
right.
fly.
Yeah, continuing on. Linda Hamilton was actually Cronenberg's first choice for Veronica, but she was so disturbed by the script that she turned it down, particularly the maggot birth scene. That really grossed her out, so she turned it down.
Okay.
But apparently he really loved the Terminator, so he offered the role to her, and she declined. This was actually the first theatrical film to have its TV premiere on the Fox network. Mel Gibson was considered for the role of Brundle, but he turned it down to do Lethal Weapon.
Thank God.
I love Lethal Weapon.
Thankfully.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. I thought you meant.
I don't know. What if you got Jeff Goldblum in Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, I was about to say. Like, think of that.
That'd be a crazy fucking alternate reality right there.
We got to get going, Danny Glover. Okay. Let's get going, baby.
Oh God, could you just imagine him going on one of Mel Gibson's rants, but he's doing it like he was in this movie, just going nonstop, fast.
Yes.
It was loosely based on a 1957 short story of the same name that is also the original Fly
From
movie.
Playboy?
From Playboy.
There was a Fly short story released in Playboy.
Yep, that would be it.
Nice.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I think there's another. I want to say there's another one that was made into a famous movie too. That was a short story in Playboy, but I'm drawing a blank on it right now.
Have you guys seen all the original?
I did once when I was a kid.
I have not.
But that was after I seen this one. So I was kind of more in favor of the remake. This is one of the movies, those rare movies where the remake is considered at least as good, if not better than the original.
Nice.
Yeah, because I mean, like I've seen the original when I was a kid. Around this, probably I think I did see this one first too. I mean, the original was cool for what it was because it had Vincent Price and shit, but it was entirely a different movie besides just the general concept of it.
But it did have really good special effects.
Like it's still, yeah, it's still good. I would suggest watching it if you don't mind watching like 50 sci-fi and shit like
definitely,
that. Like it's definitely a sweet watch.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and especially at the end with the spider web and
help me.
The head swap.
And I'm so happy they kept that line in this too. Like that was just a nice nod to the original. I mean, unless that was in the story. I mean, I've never actually read the original stories.
I haven't. Another note. I didn't write this down, but I did find this in the notes that they did include that line in this, but it was like not as comedic. I guess when they filmed the original scene back in the original movie, they had to retake it so many times because Vincent Price couldn't quit laughing.
Which line was that?
The end line with the little fly caught in the web. It was going, help me.
Oh yeah.
Where it was just his head on the body of the fly. And
Yeah.
he picks up the rock and swishes it.
That's awesome.
Fucking great. Like as a kid though, that was like such a crazy ending. You were just like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
But
so there are 7 stages to the transformation. There's stage 1 and 2, which has like a subtle rash and little lesions on the skin and tiny little hairs. There's stage 3 and 4A. Okay, that stage has prosthetics on the face, bald spots, and in the wig, and he has crooked prosthetic teeth. Stage 4B was a deleted monkey cat scene where he has a full foam latex body prosthetic. Stage 5 is a different full body suit, which has more exaggerated deformities, distorted contacts to make his one eye look bigger, which I didn't even notice until they pointed that out. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it does look bigger. Stage
That's
6.
what she said.
Stole my bit, man. Stage 6 was the final Brundle fly creature that they nicknamed Spacebug on set.
Nice.
And stage 7 was the fused Brundlefly telepod that they dubbed Brundlebooth and finally Brundlething. So I didn't realize there was that many stages into it, but looking at it, it's like, wow, cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could see it now that you've mentioned it. Now you could definitely see it if you rewatched it, though. Like almost every time she goes back to him, he's in a new stage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The many faces of Brundlefly. Continue.
Gina Davis's reaction to his ear falling off was genuine. She didn't know that was going to happen, and Cronenberg liked her reaction so much he kept it in the film. So first take, she was really grossed out, and he's like, "Boom, that's it."
Do you have any stories about that, Jason?
About her ear falling off?
No, real reactions.
Oh yeah, we've got some real reactions.
Okay.
In Vengeance.
Yeah.
Oh man. You have to come back to me on that. I have to think of you. But,
Okay.
I don't even know if I can say any right now because of spoilers. So.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
But yeah, you'll see some.
But we know there's some legitimate ones there, though. So that's all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think in Jason X, when the blood sprays up on the girl, right after they get done, start the bang. That's a real reaction.
Well, I think the most famous real reaction in any movie is in Alien, the chestburster scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. They didn't know that was going to happen, did they?
Not to that extent, no. They knew something was going to happen. They knew something was going to happen, and then he came in and the blood splatters and hits Veronica Cartwright right in the face.
Oh, didn't she fall? I think she fell backwards over something whenever that happens.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would say probably. I'd get just about anybody.
On Vengeance, we had our special effects guy. He has a blood cannon that we used for, which is just fucking cool to have a blood cannon. I
just like the name of it, blood cannon.
Right. Yeah. And I think he has a sticker on. He named it the phlebotomist. But I got shot with that thing 100 times from different takes and different things like that. But sometimes some of the actresses also got shot with it. Sometimes there's misfires. But there's definitely some real reactions from being shot in the face with a blood cannon.
That's awesome.
So,
very nice. Very cool.
Awesome.
James Woods turned down the role of Seth Brundle, as did Richard Dreyfuss.
God damn it, Dreyfuss.
They wanted everybody except for
Goldblum.
Well, this was one of Goldblum's first big movies, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did no, he did Invasion
he had
of the Body Snatchers.
Earth Girls Are Easy, but was that really big?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He was in that.
His first movie was 1974's Death Wish as Freak Number 1.
Freak Number 1. Very cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers was 1978. He's done quite a few films.
Yeah,
before that.
Okay.
He won a Saturn Award for Best Actor for this film.
Oh yeah, this movie won a lot of awards. Mm-hmm. There was a scene filmed but cut where Brundle eats Stathis' severed foot after melting it off.
Oh yeah.
Why do they cut this stuff out? I want to see
not
that.
only that, dude, but didn't they had it where he actually fucking pulled out his tongue and sucked it all up or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so. Oh, God damn it! They had a way sweeter cut of this movie.
I know, and that leads into this, and I'm glad they cut this. There were actually 4 different endings that were filmed that were happier endings. 2 of them, yeah, they're. I've seen some of them. They're not worth it. 2 of them. 2 were filmed where Veronica dreams of her unborn child as a baby with butterfly wings, and I've seen it. It looks really stupid and cheesy. I don't think the effects were finished. In one of them, she wakes up and it's revealed she's still pregnant, and the other is her pregnancy is kind of left open in the air. It doesn't say whether the baby was surviving or not. Then there were 2 other endings filmed where she has a nightmare and she's comforted by Stathis. So she ends up with Stathis in the end in these versions. And in
that's right.
In one version, he tells her the baby's his, and the other he tells her the baby died.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. And after he says it's dead, apparently Jeff Goldblum hated that ending. He didn't think it was fair that she ended up with Stathis. He hated it, and it didn't test well with audiences, so they were scrapped. And the producer Kornfeld even said, "Once your hero's dead, your movie's over."
Oh,
so that's why they ended it the way they did.
Okay.
Now this is really cool. Okay, so the melting hand effect was created by sculpting the mutilated hand, the stump. And then they built a hand out of gelatin over top of it. And then they melted it with stage lights and a hairdryer. They completely recreated the effect of the one Nazi dying in Raiders of the Lost
Indiana
Ark.
Jones, yeah.
Yeah, that was the same effect. They pretty much recreated that. And here's the interesting thing, is the melted hand, the stub that was left, they actually turned it into a lamp. And it sat in Chris Wallace's...
That would be the sweetest lamp ever.
Right, and it sat in Chris Wallace's office for the longest time, and then it ended up in Bob Burns' collection. I don't know if guys know who Bob Burns is. He has a he famously collected different things. The Alien Queen. The reason that the Alien Queen that's in Alien Resurrection, that is the original Alien Queen costume from Aliens. And it only survived because he found it in a dumpster after they were done filming Aliens.
Cool.
No shit.
Yeah, nice little thing. But there used to be this show on the Sci-Fi Channel back when it was the Sci-Fi Channel instead of Sci-Fi. It was called the Sci-Fi Buzz. And every episode they had this segment called Bob's Basement, where they'd just go into his basement and he would just show off all these awesome props that he had. The dude had a freaking museum, I swear to God. So yeah, it's in his collection. And I almost want to think he died not too long ago. Let me look real quick. Burns.
Dibs on the lamp.
Dibs on the lamp.
That'd be awesome. I wonder if I can make a stump lamp.
American drummer. I don't think that's the same guy. That is not him. Okay. The Bob Burns I looked up is the drummer for Skynyrd, so yeah, that's not him. That's not him. So the real Bob Burns that I'm thinking of could be alive. But yeah, that's a lot of my behind-the-scenes stuff. And there's a lot of other stuff that I didn't write down.
Way to go, Chad. So...
Oh, I had to pick and choose. There was so much to go
Dude, that was...
Like, I could sit here and talk for
notes,
hours.
bro.
Yeah, thanks. But I could sit here and talk for hours about a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that isn't listed. And do you know, another try... This is kind of Cronenberg's trademark, is this is considered... they call it body horror.
Okay.
Where the human body just goes through all these different transformations, and that's kind of his thing. He did it with a bunch of his other movies. That's kind of what he's known for, is doing body horror movies. He himself doesn't consider this a horror movie.
You want to know something truly scary? Imagine Rosie O'Donnell naked.
Why would you do that? I have nightmares all week, bro. Jesus Christ.
I have a feeling her naked would look a lot like Brundlefly before she ripped his jaw off. That's how I see Rosie O'Donnell.
But it's a Ziploc bag full of cottage cheese. That's what, Anyway, Johnny D, what's your big question for this flick, buddy?
All right, so I got two. One's kind of funny, and one's actually, like a legit question. So the funny one was, do you all think, because I'm pretty sure Davis and Goldblum were married during this?
They were dating.
Or at least
They weren't married,
right?
but they were dating.
Okay. Y'all think they were really fucking on scene, like and hiding it from cameras?
No.
Like Goldblum was like, yo, let me just poke it in. Like when they're riding on the couch, he was just like, yo, let me just slide it in just a little bit.
I feel like that wasn't intense enough for a real Goldblum sex scene.
That's what I'm thinking. That's very tame, because Goldblum is like...
You never know, though. But like Goldblum, that's why he's trying to be like, now he wouldn't give a shit, dude. If you did like 2019 Goldblum, man, oh yeah, he wouldn't give a flying fuck. But 1986 Goldblum, man. But no. So the real question would be like, where the hell is he getting all the fucking baboons from?
Right? Where does it? What's his monkey supplier?
Right. Like I know his company. He said, like his company pays like for whatever the fuck he wants because he doesn't like bring in a lot of money.
Yeah.
But where the fuck do you get a ready supply of baboons? Like, that's what I want to know, dude. Like, wait a minute. He just pulls up with another one. He's like, oh yeah, it's his brother. It's like, wait a minute. You got a fucking bat cage back there, just like fucking family full of them. Like, holy shit.
That's a very good question. Chad, do you have any idea where they would find a ready supply of baboons?
I don't know. That's a good question. Where would you find a baboon? I mean, this is the 80s.
Think about it, dude, that's got to be some money pull right there.
That is a very good question. Where the hell would you? Why would you want to buy a baboon?
I can't imagine baboons come cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and why would you like? What? Why would? That's a really. Why would you use a baboon? Just, people give cats away. Just use a cat.
right? He fucking lives in a goddamn like a torn down building in the back, dude. He's in the alleyways and shit. He could easily find cats and dogs, anything, dude. Like
that should just be a whole movie in and of itself. Just Goldblum going around and buying baboons.
Oh, instead of Mr. Poplar's penguins, it's Mr. Brundle's baboons.
Mr. Brundle's baboons.
Mr. Brundlefly.
So, douche of the movie.
Stathis.
Yeah, I agree.
The whole thing happened because of him.
Hands down.
It was the whole thing with him where he sent the magazine over there and she saw it and she's like, oh, I have to go for a few hours. And then he gets drunk and runs himself through the teleporter.
Dick.
Yeah, so it's all Stathis' fault.
Way to go, Stathis.
Not to mention, like, their exes, and he keeps throwing out, like, I don't know, every 30 minutes, like, hey, can I still see you naked?
Yeah, like, how creepy was this guy? He, like, stalks her into the fucking clothing store and just, like, freaks out on her and starts yelling at her.
Oh, because she's buying the jacket. Yeah.
I mean, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
And he's like, oh, you only like him for his big cock? I think that was his exact line.
Dude. It was. I laughed so hard because, like, dude, you don't hear the word cock in a movie that often. So the way he just fucking delivered it was great. Like,
so the way he delivered the cock was the best, is what you're saying.
Yes. The way he delivered the cock was the best.
That is right.
That was a great line. By the way, I have to add that I actually made my wife sit and watch this with me. I'm like, at the end, I'm like, so what'd you think of it? She looked at me, he's like, you guys watch some really weird stuff. Like, oh, so you didn't like it? She's like, no, it was good, but you guys watch some weird shit.
Well, yeah.
And this isn't even really out there comparatively to like what we could watch.
This is pretty tame compared to it. Like, it wasn't even overly gory or anything. Like, could you imagine if she...
No.
Dead Alive.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Make her do it. The whole thing.
I was going to say, can you imagine if she watched Night of the Demons? But she actually has watched Night of the Demons with me.
Oh,
back when we first started dating. That was the first time I watched it. We watched it together.
That's how you knew she was the one,
That's how I knew she was the one.
She's got to watch Night of the Demons.
She sat through Night of the Demons and didn't run away from me.
Actually, I think how I knew she was the one is that she actually loves sitting there watching me play the Fallout games.
Oh! There you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
She loves watching Fallout.
Okay.
It's like, all right, sweet.
So, questions, Chad.
We start with favorite kill. There was no kills. The only death was Brundle, actually.
I really like the melting hands.
Lies.
What?
I'm going to give you right now. My favorite kill, baboon.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. Okay, yeah.
Since Inside Out baboon?
Yeah.
It wasn't an intentional kill, I'll give you that. But it was still, I mean, even Stathis, or whatever the fuck his name is, he didn't die at the end. So technically, the baboon was the only one that died.
No, Stathis is actually in the sequel.
That's
man, I haven't seen the sequel since I've been a kid either, dude. Like,
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
I just remember like a really fucked up mutilated dog in it, I believe.
Yeah.
He was like friends with it or something like that.
Yeah, because they're trying to recreate it. That by the way, I didn't put this in my notes, but I should have. There was originally going to be a sequel that it wasn't like the one we got. What they were going to do was Brundle's consciousness actually survived in the computer. And Bartok Industries was trying to remake the teleporter experiment, get it to work. And they were basically made a slave out of his consciousness. And Gina Davis catches wind of this. And eventually by the end of the movie, what they were going to do is they were going to recreate Brundle using his original genetic sequence before it fused. So he would have come back as human, and it would have been not until the very end. And Goldblum didn't want to do it because he didn't want to do just basically a cameo. But I think that would have been a really cool movie.
What an asshole!
I mean, he is still in the second one, but it was just I think it was like unused video from the first one, I believe.
Pretty much, yeah.
That sucks.
I mean, we did get Eric Stoltz in the sequel. That wasn't bad.
Who's Eric Stoltz?
It was, yeah, because like what was it? He like aged really fast or something.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Like that was his whole situation.
Yeah, and he was really, really super smart. Like he was like ultra genius level smart.
Like he turned into like some uber brumblefly at the end, dude. Like wasn't he way more fucking Diesel or something?
Yeah, like he sprayed acid in people's faces and had like 6 arms and everything. He looked really cool.
Like I remember. Cool. Yeah.
It was a really cool effect. And by the way, there are deleted scenes in this movie too, by the way, where Brundle actually grew extra insect limbs and he would rip them off.
No shit.
Yeah, so he would have had 6 arms, but he actually pulled them off. I remember that being one of the scenes. So yeah, that's the inside out baboon is probably about the only death that we saw aside from Brundlefly.
Okay, next.
Next question, best scene.
Whenever he becomes the fly.
The very final scene where the fly head comes out of his head. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that was very well done.
Yeah, I think, and then he starts to pull her into the machine, and that whole scene was good.
I think my favorite scene was the hand melting. That always stood out in my mind. Even from my first viewing, I was like, wow, that's really gruesome. That's really well done.
Dude, that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was always.
I think my favorite was when he was transforming in the mirror, when he was like really first like checking his shit out, dude, and like pulling his nails off and squirting his finger on the glass and shit. Like, I don't know, you just really saw like how fucking nasty this shit was getting and how fast.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know about you guys, but with me, nails is always a thing. And anytime I see anything with fucking nails in horror movies, dude, that's like the one thing that'll make me kind of fucking shudder. And I will say Texas Chainsaw is like the one that hands down will fucking always do it to me. But no, fucking, not to mention like my wife got super queasy when the fucking pus squirted all out on the fucking mirror. So I was kind of laughing at that too.
That reminded me, I actually forgot to, this is in my notes and I forgot to mention it, that some critics see the film as a metaphor for the AIDS virus because one of the stages of AIDS is lesions on the face, and that's one of his stages. But it was actually intended to be a metaphor for just disease in general, and actually, most specifically, the aging process. The way your body just kind of falls apart as you get older. Sorry, I skipped that. We got distracted talking about other stuff.
He had that weird stage where like you thought he was like almost on the verge of death, and then she like came back and he was
and then all of a sudden he's like
hopping around and wall crawling and shit.
Spider-Man up there.
Okay, side note on this, dude. If you took out the horror elements, the whole fucking like him testing out and like figuring out that was all superhero shit, dude. That's every fucking comic book movie that we have nowadays. Is him like them doing some weird gymnastics, checking out like how strong they are. Some chick in the background getting fucking wet while he's doing it. And like, don't act like you didn't see Gina Davis getting all fucking pumped up watching him doing fucking gymnastic shit and everything like that. She was like, yeah, I'm feeling this shit. Fucking wrestling. But like it felt very it almost like watching it was just like, dude, you wonder if Sam Raimi like took some of the moments from Spider-Man, or that's what it felt like. Not saying like Spider-Man didn't exist fucking 30 years before this and all, but
I can see that.
Okay.
So did the opening scene hook you in? The opening scene was them just really basically talking, and he's like the started exactly the way the trailer started, with him saying he was going to change the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be honest, I'm pretty sure everybody was hooked in with Goldblum's crazy eyes there.
Yeah.
So
maybe he's a hypnotist. Maybe that's what that is.
Yeah.
He's just hypnotizing you. You will see this movie.
But dude, he had them eyes fucking just wide eyed, dude. Like he was just like I don't know. I usually get creeped out when people do that shit, dude, when they like talk that closely and everything. But Gene Davis, she was feeling it, so.
So the answer is yes. Then the opening scene hypnotized you to watch the movie.
Okay, what else? What's next?
Best tits / hottest girl. We got 2 side boobs in this movie. The only 2 girls we saw.
Yep.
Wait, there was both real quick side boob on both of them.
So Gina hottest and Tawny with the best titties.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she did have a nice side boobage.
Yeah, but she was definitely a fucking bagface, dude. Like, she was a little busted, but she was supposed to be a bar skank, so whatever.
Yeah, and she looked the part. She looked the part perfectly. She looked at
yeah, man. She
saw her
worked a little bit.
Yeah, you looked at her and you're like, wow, I'm pretty sure I've seen a girl exactly like her at the bar.
Last call.
Did the score set the mood? Gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, it had little operatic tones like it was supposed to. Like, I guess the opening and last bar of the score throughout the whole movie was actually literally stolen from Madame Butterfly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Best song? Really wasn't any. There's like one song that played in the bar when he broke that guy's arm.
Yeah.
Which that was like those guys were kind of douchey, but they weren't really that douchey. Like, what the hell did they pick on him for? It was like the stupidest fucking thing too.
They were just.
It was like that he liked. He liked sugar or something like that. Like, that's what they fucking yelled.
Yeah, because he was sitting there eating the candy bars.
Yeah. Oh, careful! He eats candy bars. Like, really? That's a fucking insult? It's like, fuck yeah, dude. Everybody eats candy bars. Fuck off.
Wait, that doesn't happen to you guys in real life?
Yeah, right.
Maybe
all the fucking time, bro.
Maybe they're diabetics. Maybe that's why they were triggered.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, look at this fucker. Oh, look at me. I can eat candy bars. Yeah, fuck you. I got diabetes. I can't.
Candy phobic.
That's why his arm snaps so easy.
Favorite character?
Grundle.
Grundlefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot. Definitely not Stathis. That guy was douche in the movie. Was it scary?
No.
No.
Horrific? No.
I would say
scary.
sad more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't think we're really going to find a lot of these movies scary with the exception of The Thing.
I think if you...
I didn't spoil that. We're not there yet. I know. They don't know when it's coming. Continue.
So, actually, I think if you look at it from Brundle's point of view, with your whole body falling apart like a disease, it could be scary, but it's not going to keep you awake at night.
No.
It's not going to give you... Well, it might give you nightmares.
I will... It's... To me, like... And you know what? You said, I think the director said he doesn't really consider it a horror movie.
Right.
I wouldn't personally consider it a horror movie either, even though it's kind of like lumped in there. It's more sci-fi than anything. But it's got the effects and everything that would, that does tie it into horror just because they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just so nasty. Like, but no, it's definitely not scary.
Right.
Like you said, like, we're not going to find most of these. Maybe the idea, sure, but it wasn't like, there's no jump scares really. There's nothing that just like this crazy transformation that more or less, while it's awesome, is also like very, very sad, disheartening.
Okay.
I'm not really a big I'm not really a big fan of movies with the jump scares to begin with, because they're kind of really formulaic. And then after you see the jump scare, there's nothing to really get you again. You see it once, like,
True. And they ruined the look of the Fly in the trailer. Like, they showed him like full Brundle Fly. Yeah.
I think that the idea is scary. Like, if you're in his shoes and you have this thing that's happening to you that you can't run from.
Right.
It's like you can't hide from it. It's just happening no matter what you do. And there's one end to it. So that is scary. But as a film sitting there, I don't think feeling scared is not there.
Okay. Does it hold up today? Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
It's an Oscar-winning film. Of course it does.
And it has fucking Goldblum in it, dude. Like, how could you not love it?
Yeah, that's like win-win.
Was the acting good or bad? Incredible.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Cinematography was wonderful. It had that 90s feel to it and look to it.
I assume you mean 80s because it was filmed in 86.
Oh, 80s, sorry. Not 90s. 80s. Yeah, it had that 80s look to it. I don't know. It's okay. It's not the best film with best cinematography. It's not The Crow. I'll just say that.
It's not like super artsy in the camera direction. I mean, like, the shots where he was like on the ceiling and shit, they were cool.
It's no Angela coming down the hallway cool.
Right. Yeah.
Premise. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great premise.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's a really great sci-fi science going wrong.
Classic.
Yeah.
So, what's the rating for Gore N More? I will start with a 3.5. Chad?
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5. That's what I was thinking. It's right along there.
Transcock?
I'm gonna go with a 4.
All right. And Brooks.
I'll go 4 too.
And that is an even
3.75.
3.75 for The Fly. What's the highest reviewed film that we have? Night of Demons. I think that's what
we really
was
need
it
to keep
Demons or I
track.
thought it was The Crow.
We need to keep track.
We need to keep track.
No, because I rated it super high and you guys are all like, meh.
No. I thought I rated The Crow like 3.5. I thought
I gave The Crow
4.7
4.7.
or something.
I think I gave it 3.5. I don't really
Yeah,
remember.
see, you guys brought me down. So, Brooks, talk about Vengeance.
All right. What do you want to hear?
Well, what's
everything?
Where do we go
Whatever
from here?
you can tell us.
Actually, pretend you're not talking to us. You're talking to your audience. I mean, they don't. You're telling people that don't know anything about it.
But then again, if they listen to Gore N More, they very well know what Vengeance is.
Oh, good. Well, first, with The Fly, the last thing I want to say about that is just watching it again for the first time in a long time. It inspired me in a way that I really wanted to, like, if there was a remake or another sequel or something, I would absolutely want to be The Fly. Like, that just looks like a lot of fun, the whole transformation, the whole thing. I like the creature character acting and stuff, so that was cool. But Vengeance. Yeah, so Friday the 13th Vengeance. It's a fan film. It takes place, it's basically a direct sequel to Part 6. It happens 30 years after Part 6, where you see, Tommy has just chained Jason to the bottom of the lake, shoot him up with the boat motor. Or I guess that wasn't Tommy, right? That was Megan.
Megan, yeah.
Yep. But anyway, so this takes place 30 years later. And we introduce Elias Voorhees, Jason's father, into this story for the first time, which Tom McLaughlin was going to try to introduce at the end of Part 6 as well. They never got the chance to film that. But yeah, so we picked that up. I think it's going to be, I can't wait for people to see it because there's so much I want to say about it. There's so much like exciting concepts that I can't even talk about without giving plot points away. So,
well, the trailer looks great.
Yes, trailer's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, it's on YouTube, Vimeo. If you want to watch a high definition, go to Vimeo. But yeah, the trailer just launched a couple weeks ago. And boy, let me tell you, you definitely feel the pressure when you have all these people and fans who are eager and looking and waiting and stuff. And there's a lot of opinionated people out there who want to like and also want to hate. But it's been, and I got to see a couple different versions of the trailer before it came out. Wow. But Dustin, our director of photography and editor, and Jeremy Brown, the director, they just did a phenomenal job with this trailer and the film as a whole. And it just sitting there watching it, I've just watched it so many times myself over and over again. I don't get sick of it. It came out and we were braced for all the hate. We're braced for the haters, the people who just want to trash on things or, oh, it's popular and so I'm going to hate it, or I like this film, so I'm not going to like yours, whatever it is. And it just didn't come, and we're sitting there looking at it and watching it, and just the feedback has just been overwhelmingly positive. And I think we've had like 2 people in all this time who basically said trash or garbage, which is like, okay, well, thank you. But yeah, it's been amazing. The reaction. I'm just feel very, very lucky, very happy about it that all the work we put into it and all the love, time, money, effort. I mean, we really, you hear it all the time, and it's a little bit cliche. It's like, by fans, for fans. We're putting all of our life into it and dedication and the people working on it. but it's absolutely true. Like, we always are like thinking about it as fans wanting to what we're going to watch. Like, we've cut things out completely. We've removed things out. We've added things in because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And the people working on this are just really good fans, and they're fucking talented as hell. And I mean, we had, you know, Mick Strawn, who's in
that?
the podcast now. I mean, he was our production designer and our assistant director for this thing, and he's worked on Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, and Blade, and Leatherface, and Boogie Nights, and like tons of films that. And we wanted to have this 80s kind of throwback feel, like get back to the roots. We don't want to have like the brand new remake, which is good in its own rights. We, you know, all these modern horror films, which kind of get that, there's a feel, you know, there's a certain feeling and vibe that the modern slashers have.
Yes.
And we wanted to get that throwback to the 80s where these happened, the ones that we grew up with, the ones that we loved, and have it be connected to that and feel like it's still part of that universe. And having Mick Strawn was perfect for that, you know. So leading our production design, and then Tom McLaughlin, he helped and gave us some pointers. We went through the script with him, you know, a couple times, and he said, here's what I would do, here's how I've thought about these things, here's where my mind was going with Elias, and here's some concepts, you know, that I toyed with, and he was just an amazing support person as well. And then not even, I mean, it's CJ Graham, who played Elias in the film, played Jason in part 6. He has been a phenomenal, like, amazing mentor to me this whole time. He calls me up on the phone, texts me all the time, and like, how are you doing? And here's some stuff you're going to go through. Here's some stuff you're going to experience. And one of the first conversations I had with him, I was down at his house in Arizona, and we're just kind of talking, and as we're talking, one of the comments I said was, "Oh yeah, but you're a real Jason. I'm just in a fan film." And he stopped me, put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Hold on, wait a minute. No. You're a Jason. Are you making a feature length film? Yes. Are you wearing all this makeup and shit? Yes. Are you doing these stunts and acting through this whole thing, making a feature film for Friday the 13th? Yeah. Then you're a real Jason. You're doing the same exact thing that I did. You're doing the same thing Kane did. You're doing the same thing that Steve did. Everyone, you're doing the same thing. You're earning that badge." And I was like, holy shit. Like, when you look at it that way, that, you know, that's a really cool thing to think about.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So he was like that. And then Steve, when he went down to film his scenes, he was very much the same way. He sat on his couch in his living room the first night down there. And I was telling him a little bit about that. He's asking about what I've done to prepare for it, for the role, and what, you know, because he's heard that I did the research. I've watched countless hours of behind the scenes footage, interviews with these guys to get in their heads to think, you know, how are they doing it? And Steve said, "You know what? That's bullshit. Throw that shit away." He said, and like, for a moment, he dropped his tough guy persona, because everyone knows Steve's personality. But for a moment, he just kind of sat there and looked at me, because, can I be honest with you for a second? He's like, "Yes, please." And he said, "If I could give you any advice, throw all that shit away that you learned. Just be yourself." He says, "I've seen it. I see you. I've been watching you. I see you move. I see you walk. I've seen the footage of you. You got what it takes. You got it to be a Jason." And he says, in my opinion, you hold the same honor we all do. And I want the world to see you as one of us. I want everyone in the world to see you as a Jason, the way they see me, the way they see Kane, the way they see CJ. And he said, and just be yourself, because you got it. Don't try to be me. He says, do you think CJ looked at me to go be Jason? Do you think Kane looked at CJ? No, they're doing their own thing, and that's what made it special. So do you. And from that point on, I did. And it just stuck with me. So it's been like, every single person, all the talent, all the input has just been phenomenal. And it all kind of culminated into this thing. Like, there's so many things that kind of got in our way, but led to better opportunities. And it just over time and time again, we just all looked at each other and said, wow, this was meant to be. This was meant to be. For whatever reason, anything that seemed to have gone wrong blossomed into something more beautiful. So So yeah, here we are. We're done filming. It's all being edited right now. It comes out this summer, and we're just really, really excited. And I can't wait for people to see it and see what we've done. So.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we definitely can't wait to see it. Like I said, we love the trailer. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
We've been following Vengeance for a very long time.
Yes.
Just really hyped. We've been on that train, and it's quite the train to be on. Thank you for coming on this episode. It means a lot, and I'm very happy that we're able to do that, and we have that type of relationship with you guys.
Yeah, my pleasure. I appreciate you guys having me on.
But that... Transcock, anything you want to say before the show's over? Wait, no, we got to do. We got to shill.
Sorry, go ahead.
We got to shill the network. You want to talk about the network?
If you'd like me to.
Okay, go for it.
Alrighty. Gore N More is all part of the Do Back Discussion Network, home of other great and amazing podcasts such as the Do Back Discussion Podcast. Your home for up-to-date Star Wars news on collectibles, movies, comics, you name it, you got it. Hall of Heroes, podcasts about superheroes, comics, movies, toys. The two new podcasts we have, the Jerk the Curtain, all about up-to-date wrestling. TJ, his new baby, one of his new babies.
Yes.
And the newest one is Down the Rabbit Hole with TJ and Nick Strong, which I believe is pretty much just kind of like a random podcast, right, buddy?
Open
but
format.
You guys just kind of
talk about
whatever the fuck you want to do.
It's evolved into story time with like me guiding the story with Mick. It's quite amazing. I come up with topics, and Mick calls me throughout the week. And he has what he calls whatever comes. It's in case if anything leaks out. He wants me to be able to catch it for him. I'm his idea sieve. Can
we talk about the thing that he set up for you, for us, or for you guys at least, or about where potentially we are syndicated now?
Oh no, we can talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that here. But with that is he'll call me throughout the week. He'll tell me ideas of what he wants to talk about on shows, and I write it down. And then at the end of the week, I do show notes on Thursday, and we pretty much just put bunch of different topics. We have a bunch of different little skits in there, and we just go from there. And it's he tells stories. I give my 2 cents, what I see on different topics, and then we hit record, and it's quite a good time. Mick is an endless vault of amazing stories, and of course, it's not nonstop laughs. Like the name of the show is "Come for the Bunny, Stay for the Funny." It's great.
Yeah, anytime with Mick is story time, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're never not entertained. But I just wanted to personally thank Mr. Brooks for joining us. It's been awesome, man. Like the other guy said, we're super excited for the film. We can't wait, and glad you could just take the time, man, to just enjoy this movie with us and let you know what you think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, we really enjoyed having you on here, man. We really appreciate it, taking time out of your day, coming and talking to a couple schlubs like us.
Yeah, anytime.
For real.
Anytime.
But you can find all our great podcasts on dobackdiscussion.net and visit our TeePublic for all of our merch and that sweet Gore N More t-shirt. Hats to come, pins to come. Also visit us at Steel City Comic Con August 9th through 11th and visit the Do Back Vengeance booth. It will be awesome. And remember, all proceeds go to Shriners Children's Hospital. But thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Gore N More podcast. This is your host, TJ Bowser. Wait, what?
Before you got to, you have to promote our next episode.
Our next episode is what?
Our next episode will be in 2 weeks. It will be Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, yes, we are doing Hellraiser, and it's
Hellraiser.
That's how that's exactly how the episode's gonna end too. I actually met Doug Bradley. That's gonna be a cool show.
Did he have such sights to show you?
Oh, he did. Or if it's this show, it's to tell you. But yes, next episode, Hellraiser. That'll be
in 2 weeks because I'm on vacation next week.
The first?
Yes, the first.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do it the first. But there'll be interviews released since then. I got one on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and I got an Andrew Lightly one that I need to drop still. And I'll set more up. Me and Brooks are working on one as well. It's pretty big. Thank you for that.
You bet.
Yeah.
And if I can throw out one last thing, if you guys don't mind.
Absolutely.
Any listeners that are in the discussion group, if you guys got ideas, this has been brought up before, but we love them. You guys got ideas or things you want us to talk about on the show, throw them out there, man. We love to hear the feedback. Anything you guys got, let us know.
Much.
And if you're not part of the Facebook group, join it.
Yes, it is a hoot and a half. We love discussing all sorts of things, horror from monsters to slashers, mostly slashers for me, and sci-fi horror. Yeah, go in there, post whatever you want, as long as it's not your own content.
Yeah, you can't show your own shit.
Yeah, that's our job. Jared is trying to reach the rank of Master Shill, so we got to help him get there. Did you see that funny video of him posting of him going down a slide that was not made for him?
And the running into the fence.
Yes.
Oh, dude. Fuck the fence. I was thinking about just the fucking knee burns on the concrete, man. It looked nasty.
But that's all for this episode. For the third time, that's TJ Bowser signing off.
Chad Christmas signing off. And don't forget, Child's Play comes out into theaters this weekend.
Friday. Transcog.
Big Johnny D signing off.
And Brooks.
Hey, thank you very much.
So you two dig up dinosaurs?
Oh.
Try to.
Yo. 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 You'll have to get used to Dr. Malcolm.
So you two dig up dinosaurs? So you two dig up dinosaurs?
Oh.
You have to get used to Dr. Malcolm. You have to get used to Dr. Malcolm. Yo. 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 Yo.
So you two dig up dinosaurs?
Oh.